Man, I love this little camera. Geez, this camera's a piece of crap. It's so good. It's so good. Even the back fell off it. It's just cheap. Yeah, it is cheap. It's the Runcam Thumb. And it's because it's cheap, I reckon you should buy one. Want to find out more? Watch this review. So here is the Runcam Thumb camera. It's a very small camera. I think they're about $50, $50 or so. Let me see, you see it there. And ND filter, fantastic. You really need an ND filter with a camera of this size. Any FPV camera, any recording camera, ND filters make a world of difference. You get the nice motion blur. Everything looks so much better. Now this is a camera, it came with this TPU mount, but the mount itself obviously was made wrong because it's back to front. I don't know how they got it wrong, but I'll take it out of here. Let's have a close look at this thing. Let's have a look. So as you can see, it is very small. It is thumb-sized. In fact, that's probably why they called it the Thumb. The ND filter is removable. It comes with a glass lens as well. If you want to, on darker days, if you want to do some shooting at night or something, you don't need the ND. Has a little stop and start record button here. You can probably hear it clicking. Lovely. That glows red when it's on. It has a power connector on the back. Doesn't have a built-in battery. No built-in battery because you power it from your craft. That's one of the reasons they keep the price down. Also, how many of these little cameras have you had where the batteries died and the camera becomes useless? It used to have a little cover on here. And as I said, this camera's crap because the little cover falls off. Everyone says it falls off. I had taped mine and it still fell off and I lost it. So yeah, there is a 3D printer file online, I think, which makes a really rough one, which probably works. But the SD card goes in here. I've currently got the SD card in the computer. I'm going to show you what I recorded on this little Thumb camera. But at the price, you can't afford not to buy one of these because the results from this camera are pretty good for a $50 camera. And a $50 camera is not a big investment. You can put this on a model, and if you lose it, you're not going to cry. You're not going to have to mortgage the house again to replace it. It is just a good, almost disposable, consumable camera you can put on a quad or on a fixed wing and fly around and get some pretty damn good footage out of it. HD, it's only HD. There is a Runcam Thumb 4K, which I'll be reviewing, but they sent me one without an ND filter. And as I said, without an ND filter, these things are far less impressive. So should I review it without the ND filter? It's probably not going to look good because one of the other reasons you want to use an ND filter is that on, especially like little cine whoops, which have a bit of jello, they shake and rattle, especially when your props look like mine, having had many collisions with things. And I'll show you in the flight footage that if you use an ND filter, it really reduces the amount of jello you get in your footage. But if you don't have an ND filter, it can look pretty crappy. And they sent me a Runcam 4K Thumb without an ND filter. So I expect it would look pretty damn crappy. Should I really review it like that? Because everybody should be using the ND filter on this one and on the 4K. But let's have a look at some of the footage that I recorded on this little quad. Now, one other thing to note. When I reviewed this Foxeer quad, I said, this is unbreakable. You know, but the only thing you could probably break is the camera. Well, I don't know if we're going to see it in the light here, but you can probably see this camera has a couple of cracks in the lens, and I'll show you how I did that. I was right. The drone is unbreakable, but the camera is vulnerable. I'm going to make a 3D thing to fit on here to protect that camera. And if you've got a Foxwhoop 2025 or whatever it is, do the same, because if you have a pole and you fly into it, that camera will take the full force of the impact, as you will see in some footage I'm about to roll. So here we go. This is with the camera raw out of the camera. There's no color grading, there's no lens correction on this, and as you can see, I fly really badly, but it's a good example of how the camera performs in low light. This was quite overcast. It was quite a dark day. I still had the ND filter on though, and as you can see, yeah, it's not bad for an HD image. What I'm going to do now though is I'm just going to adjust the camera, do a bit of color grading, and I'm going to remove some of the lens distortion. You'll notice at the sides of the image, the very left and right hand sides, the image is really quite compressed. It's not a particularly linear lens. So let's just change that for a corrected image and see how much better the camera can look. So there we go. This is a very quick and dirty color grading and a change to the lens linearization? Linearity, that's the word I was looking for. And you can see it looks a whole lot better, at least I think it does anyway. And this is what you can get out of the camera if you really try. So this footage looks okay to me. For a $50 camera, this looks pretty damn impressive, to be totally honest. As you can see, my flying, unfortunately, doesn't look that impressive. I probably put too much color boost in this. Never mind, I might tweak it around a little bit later on. But you can see it is capable of quite reasonable results. Now, unfortunately, my flying isn't capable of reasonable results, but I did some twos and fros here with the little Fox Whoop 25, just having a little bit of fun as you do. Unfortunately, yeah, as you can see, not such a good landing. In fact, that was the landing that cracked the lens on my HD camera, on the Fox Air HD camera. But as you can see, the quad itself survived just fine. I think that's when I lost the back cover as well, but the Runcam Thumb didn't phase it, didn't care. It totally undamaged apart from losing the back cover. So I was kind of impressed with the robustness of this camera. It really can hold up in a crash. Now, one thing to notice here is the lack of jello. You don't really see much jello on this footage because the ND filter is doing a really good job of slowing down the shutter speed of this little camera to avoid the vibrations causing that horrible Ripley jello effect. And I'm still loving this little Fox Air quad, I've got to say. It's much better than me. So what I'll do now is I might change over to some footage on a sunnier day, because this camera performs pretty damn well given the lighting conditions. It's pretty hard to find a camera that will perform well in both. So we've seen what it looks like in low light. Let's have a look and see how it handles slightly brighter lighting. Okay, here we go. Some full sunlight with the ND filter fitted, and again, my shaky flying. Sorry about that, but you can see that it's not too bad. The color handling, it does tend to blow out the highs a bit. I need to play with the settings. This was pretty much out of the box. So, and speaking of settings, the way you set the parameters for the camera is not through Wi-Fi. It's not through a QR code. You just edit some values on the SD card. It's really, really basic stuff. So you could do it with your phone in the field if you wanted to. And I just left the settings like basically almost defaults, I think it was. But as you can see, it handles highs and lows reasonably well. The highs are a little blown out, but it's still okay. I have corrected the lens distortion to agree on this and just done a little bit of bringing down the highs and just increasing the contrast a little. It's not super sharp footage, but it is only HD. And for $50, again, I have to say for $50, quite happy with it. There is a white balance shift I noticed. This is auto white balance, and it does tend to go a little bit bluey, greeny sometimes. But again, these things, I'll be playing more with this camera because I really intend to use it quite a bit, because I don't care if I smash it. Even though I've tried, it doesn't break. The back falls off, but it doesn't break. But let's have a look at some footage now without the ND filter and see if you can spot the jello. Again, I've adjusted the lens parameters and the color a little bit, but you can see there's jello in this footage. There is definitely some jello in this footage. It's just not as good. And also the highs are even more blown out. It looks a little bit like it's lost a bit of dynamic range. And again, look at the white balance shift. So yeah, these things are, you wouldn't be expecting this from a GoPro if you spend a whole lot of money, but from a $50 camera. And remembering that I've yet to play around with some of the parameters. This is out of the box, what you'd experience if you didn't actually start adjusting stuff. So yeah, I think it's not too bad, but definitely that you wouldn't want to use this without the ND filter. The results in this are obviously nowhere near as good as the previous clip. But there you go. This is the Runcam Thumb, and for $50, what do you expect? But again, it's only $50, and for me, I'd rather have a $50 camera than no camera. And this one, I'm going to use it a lot. There'll be a lot more footage on my XJet channel using this camera because, in fact, there is some footage on there from the last video I put up. I think there was some shots at the field using this. And yeah, here's a little pan around. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now, one other thing you'll notice on this is that I've got a little battery strapped to the top of the quad. Yeah, I've got the main battery, the 4S LiPo, but I've got a 1S LiPo from my Mobula 6, my little whoop, because I didn't want to have to wire this thing. I was testing it on a number of frames. I didn't want to have to wire it into the flight controller. A bit of a pain in the backside to pull it all apart and solder it in. So I simply made up a lead with a 1S LiPo that I can plug into the back of the camera. It will run on a 1S LiPo, especially if you have one of the high voltage ones, 4.35 volts as opposed to 4.2. It works just fine and means you can move it around, because the one thing that I'm quite annoyed about is they only give you one power lead in the box. They should give you half a dozen power leads because they're only worth a few cents each, and it means you could set up several quads or planes and move this camera around to each. I guess they want you to buy one for every plane. And at $50, you could almost do that, but I'm not going to. Even 50 bucks is too expensive to do that. So there you go, that's it. That's my review. I do recommend you buy one. As I say, they have some real problems in terms of the cover coming off, and the quality of the footage is good for 50 bucks, but it's not a GoPro. It's not even a Runcam 5. It's only HD. You can use it with gyroflow. I don't use it with gyroflow because I don't need to. I fly so smooth. But you can use it with gyroflow apparently, and I've tried it and the results are okay. They're not fantastic, but they're okay. What do you expect for 50 bucks? Come on, let's be serious here. So there you go. Comments, questions, go down to the comedy question bit and I will do my best to answer them. And if Runcam are watching, please send me an ND filter for the Thumb 4K, or I'll have to review it without it. And I have a feeling, given it's twice the price, it won't be twice the value without that ND filter. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. See you again soon.